Zebra mussels are one of the most invasive species in the world. Although zebra mussels are a freshwater species, they have been found living in brackish waters, a place where saltwater and freshwater meet. So someday they could actually adapt to live in saltwater as well. Zebra mussels can also grab onto things living in the water amongst them. Zebra mussels can attach to anything else in the water, everything from metal to boats to other marine life forms. Zebra mussels are a very big problem in the water. They take up too much space and they also take up a lot of oxygen. Zebra mussels also cannot be killed in large amounts. Zebra mussels can only be killed by hitting them with a hammer or squashing them with a stone. But if you're looking to kill the problem in your lake, there is no way. They also are very dangerous because just by touching one or stepping on it, you could easily cut yourself. It needs to be known that zebra mussels were brought to the reservoir by boats. The only way to stop the spread of zebra mussels is by cleaning your boat after getting out of the water. There are also many more invasive species in the county of Huntington. This invasive species is called the dandelion. The dandelion does have a known weakness though, that can stop its reproduction, stop its growth, and kill it. To stop the dandelions is weed killer. Dandelions are so easily reproduced because there is a stage in their development where they grow seeds on the top of them. When the wind blows, it blows these seeds all over the yard, which then replants the dandelion. A few ways to protect the summer reservoir is to only bring in firewood when you have all the bark taken off of it. Another way to protect it is by washing your boat before taking it into the reservoir. Also, you can do the reservoir a huge favor by not throwing out food and by not littering.
There are many predators in the county of Huntington, Indiana, but one main predator in Huntington is the coyote. The coyote eats anything from a bird that is dead or alive to a fawn. The most common prey of the coyote, though, is the rabbit. These two things need each other to survive. For a coyote to reach their carrying capacity in Huntington, Indiana, they would have to have a huge boost in population. Rabbits could do it easily. People hunt rabbits in Huntington, but that is not enough to balance out the population of rabbits to their carrying capacity. With coyotes in the balance, there are plenty of rabbits left, and they don't have to worry about starvation. Without rabbits, coyotes would not be able to survive. There would not be enough food for coyotes to survive, and the population here in Indiana of them would begin to die off. These two animals are a great way of showing the different predator and prey relationships that there are at the Salamone Reservoir. This is a graph comparing the amount of coyotes to the amount of rabbits. A lot of people don't know, but humans also play a huge role in the ecosystem. When a human goes out and hunts an animal, they are affecting the ecosystem. They are causing an animal to lose its population. This could cause the animal to go extinct sometimes, but most of the time it keeps the population in range. Also, humans can affect the ecosystem by polluting the world with greenhouse gases and waste. Humans also litter, which can cause pollution and kill animals when they choke on the material that the human threw out. Also, by humans spreading and moving into new areas, humans can destroy habitats of other animals. Abiotic factors. The definition of abiotic factors is the non-living components of the biosphere. This means that they are considered dead. Some abiotic factors would be things such as rocks, soil, and minerals because they are non-living. Biotic factors. This is the definition of biotic factors. It means that it is a living organism within an ecosystem and it is related to life. This means that they are alive. Some examples of a biotic factor would be things such as plants, animals, and fungi because they are living or were once living. Autotroph. The definition of autotroph is any living organism that contains organic substances from molecules by using light or chemical energy. Autotrophs are the primary producers in all food chains since the materials store energy sources of all organisms. Heterotroph. This is the definition of a heterotroph. It is a creature that ingests biomass to obtain its energy and nutrition. All animals are heterotrophs. All heterotrophs depend on biological products of the autotrophs for their nourishment. Producer. This is the definition of a producer. A producer converts energy from the environment into carbon bonds, such as those found in sugar. A plant would be a good example of a producer. Another word for a producer would be an autotroph. Consumer. This is the definition of a consumer. A consumer gets its energy from the producers, which come from carbon bonds. Heterotroph is another word for a consumer. Secondary succession. This is the definition of a secondary succession. Secondary succession is the series of a community change which takes place on a damaged habitat. Secondary succession is much quicker than the primary succession. An example of secondary succession would include areas which have been cleared of vegetation. Carrying capacity. The definition of carrying capacity is this. It refers to the number of individuals who can be supported within natural resources. The effects of population growth reduce the carrying capacity in the United States. One cycle of nature found in the reservoir is the water cycle. The water cycle consists of the movement of water around the world. The water moves from reservoir to reservoir, such as from river to ocean, or from the ocean to the atmosphere by the physical processes of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. The water goes through different phases, such as liquid, solid, and gas. The water cycle involves the exchange of heat energy, which leads to temperature changes. For instance, in the process of evaporation, water takes up energy from the surroundings and cools the environment. In the process of condensation, water releases energy to its surroundings, warming the environment. The water cycle figures significantly in the maintenance of life and ecosystems on Earth. Even as water in each reservoir plays an important role, the water cycle brings added significance to the presence of water on our planet. By transferring water from one reservoir to another, the water cycle purifies water, replenishes the land with fresh water, and transports minerals to different parts of the globe. It is also involved in reshaping the geological features of the Earth through such processes as erosion and sedimentation. In addition, as the water cycle involves heat exchange, it exerts an influence on climate as well. Over the years, succession has become present in the reservoirs. The reservoir has now become home to the forests and for the animals that may live in the reservoir. The reservoir is becoming a succession, and the role humans have make the progress more of a succession. With all that the humans have done with helping the reservoir, it has made the reservoir a much more pleasant place to be and better to be around. How much that they have done to help improve the reservoir has helped many animals now find a home where they will be fed and be kept safe. Controlled burns can be utilized for the good of an environment. The way that it can help is by getting rid of the weeds under the trees, so this stops weeds from taking all the water from the trees, thus allowing the trees to survive. Controlled burns are started by the people and are watched over. Secondary succession is caused in many ways, but a common way would be fire. This shows the process by which secondary succession results. Secondary succession is a series of community changes which take place on a previously colonized but disturbed or damaged habitat. Secondary succession is usually much quicker than primary succession for the following reasons. There's already an existing seed bank of suitable plants in the soil. Root systems undisturbed in the soil, stumps and other plant parts from previously existing plants can rapidly regenerate. The fertility and structure of the soil has also already been substantially modified by previous organisms to make it more suitable for growth and colonization.